Prestige, an appearance-projected quality of a person or work of art that exercises instant domination on the mind. It works as a mesmerizer, paralyzes one's critical faculty, infuses you with awe, fear, and respect without need for the other party to prove itself in any shape or form. Furthermore, its effect is induced by the mere act of exposure, passes under the radar, and stealthily causes us to turn highly gullible to the thing in question. During the past centuries, judges had to wear certain uniforms in order to achieve prestigious radiance. Wigs in particular symbolized authority, and a mere peasant he was, a judge without his wig. The same premise escalated to encompass certain looks, titles, fashion trends, or job status that seem to elevate a person's worth in the eyes of others. Whenever we think of a minister, supermodel, or favorite musician, the image that of a semi-god comes to mind who has everything but an ordinary life unlike ourselves. A closer look would reveal the process by which these ranks acquired prestige, and that is an accumulation of repetitions of identical judgments on the latter. Many renowned inventions and historical events had been documented and passed on from generation to the next, with no attempt to verify their legitimacy. As Gustave put it, everyone ends by repeating what he learnt at school, till there come to be names and things which nobody would venture to meddle with. For instance, electricity seemed to have been discovered long before Nikola Tesla, and that he was but its mere developer thereafter. Since the opposite is propagated widely, there are many other contributors to the field that you'll always remain clueless about, like Alessandro Volta, prior to Tesla, inventor of the first electrochemical battery. Worse even, some people have never heard of Tesla and relate all credit to Edison, who in actuality stole most of Tesla's inventions and ideas and accredited them to his name. Same goes for George Washington and the countless unmentioned names whom without their aid, his vision would have never seen light. This is known as icon worship, to relate a marked accomplishment to the doing of a single so-called pioneer to relieve the populace from thinking. Repeated favorable judgments imbue the icon with prestige, which enchants the crowd to look no further to verify their knowing. A process excessively used in politics to gradually inject the crowd with certain ideologies to keep them under grasp. Like the prestigious and widespread democratic dogma that conventional education raises the intelligence and prepares men for life. In this obedience-based chicken house, success is granted to his best at the reciting by heart of condensed textbooks. The child's ability to criticize, his stance, are most welcome, but only if related to the task at hand. Why should he question anyway? The test will have nothing to do with what he thinks on the matter. What stands before the unconscious mind that warmly greets any extrinsic symbol is your critical thinking layer, which hinders or allows the latter at will. Since the system of education rarely calls a student's judgments into play and fosters the quote-unquote fit in to succeed, that layer deteriorates over time while parts of the brain responsible for reception take the upper hand, which would result in a less critical, ultra-suggestible mind. For so long, this critical ability has remained undeveloped that any attempt to make use of it now would prove strenuous, hence the need for simplified truths. Such method of instruction rewires the brain to warmly welcome either constructive or destructive influences, which accounts for the numerous unwanted popular beliefs you ended up carrying to adulthood inadvertently. Like the idea that illness is for vaccines and pills to cure, and that we can't do anything to heal or prevent it on our own through lifestyle changes. Or how governmental institutions are to be trusted blindly in matters of increasing one's prosperity or job security. Now, I have nothing against schooling, provided the person aspires for self-education apart from it. Otherwise, if there's anything it does good, is prime for such positions which require -1 self-direction or personal initiative. Prestige renders an author a truth-teller, a book a masterpiece, before you've even read it. How many of you had once bought a book merely because it's stamped a bestseller or because the cover was compelling? We all did at times, and the fact that some best-selling books out there are complete garbage supports the latter argument. Furthermore, you're very likely to let your guard down and assimilate as truth what you read or hear just because it's well known among others. The rationale: if something sounds cool, then it must as well be true. A work is more prone to scrutiny when still unpopular than after it has garnered a bulk of positive reviews. It is for this very reason that the prestigious should be subject to the most questioning. A paper titled Official Study doesn't automatically make it an axiom. An article written on a neatly designed website doesn't make it legit. This is not to say become a stubborn skeptic, but simply cross-check firsthand and maintain exposure to conflicting views to make an all-encompassing opinion. Now, a few words to wrap this up. I'd say prestige can be a double-edged sword. From one end, just by being aware of it, you could somehow consciously control its effect on you. In a sense, to dig deeper, to turn alert and distrustful of superficial, appearance-projected qualities, ready-made knowledge, or unfounded political dogmas. From another, you could make use of its powers yourself in persuasive endeavors. I'll leave the ways of application up to you. The special characteristic of prestige is to prevent us seeing things as they are and to entirely paralyze our judgment. Crowds always, and individuals as a rule, stand in need of ready-made opinions on all subjects. The popularity of these opinions is independent of the measure of truth or error they contain, and is solely regulated by their prestige.